An explosion on the surface of the sun appears to have set off a, quote, solar tsunami yesterday, which may play havoc with electronics over the course of the next few days. It's unclear how much damage this could cause, but in 1859, a severe wave hit Earth and caused such powerful geomagnetic effects an aurora was visible in California. A 2013 study indicates that if the same storm occurred in modern times, damages in the US could exceed $2.6 trillion. The storm headed for Earth currently is only rated as potentially causing a G1, the lowest severity of geomagnetic storms. These are aftershocks following the biggest solar flare in 4 years in July, which thankfully did not affect Earth. Back to you, Chauncey.
The sunstorm. I've always been a little confused about this. I know you're not an expert. Is a sunstorm like a collection of solar flares and sunspots? I don't really understand the terminology. All I know, here's what I know. Late 80s movies, sunspots caused problems with cell phones.
Right.
Solar flares could knock out the power grid. And that's it. That's the extent of my knowledge.
I think it's all... I think they're all about the same in terms of like what their effect is on us, you know, and I think what we're worried about here is a geomagnetic storm, because, you know, if Earth didn't have a magnetic field and there was a solar flare, it would just kill everything on Earth. But obviously we do.
So it's going to pull it in.
I don't know exactly, but as I understand it, there are just like weird interactions when this huge wave of plasma basically hits our magnetosphere. It causes just lots of odd electromagnetic phenomenon all over the world, and that's the thing that ultimately damages electronics.
So what's the likelihood that we would see a big problem from this? Any idea? You know, they warn about them on the news all the time, these things, and I don't think my life has ever been upset by anything.
No, it's interesting because you're right. It hasn't really been a thing in a long time. There have been, you know, definitely, like I was saying earlier, there have been sunspots in the past or sunstorms where we know if they happen today, they would like bring society to a screeching halt for a long, long time. It doesn't sound like this one is likely to be that. This is kind of like how we were talking about pandemics before the pandemic happened.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
okay,
you know, there hasn't been a big one in a while. Our lives have never really been affected by it. But, you know, then it came along. This is in the same category of things that only come along 100 years every, you know, a few hundred years.
Right.
But when they do, it could be a big, big problem because now we have electronics everywhere.
Right. You know, putting it in that perspective really does make sense.
How do you attract a man? What I mean is, suppose you set your heart on somebody. What would you do to get him?
Grab him and take him.
You grab him and take him.
Take him. Like that.